Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In tonight's episode we are unpacking the Manchester derby. My brother's team Manchester City beat my team Manchester United 3-0. We're going to be looking at the Haaland performance, the issues in midfield, the fantastic performance by Donnarumma and much more. Let's get it, Christian. Okay, Christian, 3-0 win in the derby. Always good to sit through.
Yeah.
Whether it was perfect or not, you beat Manchester United, and that is the main objective. Also, on the back of two defeats, you needed 3 points as well. So, in a way, job done. Let's get into some positives, Christian. I know you've got some, and then we'll look at some of maybe the other areas of for concern moving forward. Obviously, big game at the weekend with Arsenal, and obviously, Napoli tomorrow as well. We're recording this on Wednesday. Okay, so let's get into the man of the match, and this was somebody that I touched on in the game post game.
Yeah,
and weirdly, somebody that gets a reasonable amount of criticism, particularly from one idiot who, for some reason, gets decent airtime. You probably already know him on about. I'm not mentioning his name again. He's an absolute buffoon. Christian, talk to me about Erling Haaland. I think that was maybe his best performance as a City player, just with the attitude, the chest out feeling, the defending, the attacking, the pressing, the touch, the finishing. Talk to me about Erling Haaland. I mean, what a performance.
I think that's a great shout. I think people could point to other individual performances where he scored more goals, or maybe the goals have looked cleaner or more spectacular. But the reason you've made a great shout is because that felt like a bit of a coming-of-age moment for Erling Haaland. You know, he signs that big deal. It's a Manchester derby. He knows what this means to the club, to the fans, and especially that day with everything that, you know, we found out that morning, the really sad news. And it just felt like Erling Haaland grabbed that game by the scruff of the neck, and he didn't care what was in front of him. He was going to take it. And, mate, I made some points. Now, when we sat and did a watch-along in that FA Cup final, and I watched Erling Haaland give that penalty to Marmoush, and I was very pissed off. And I made my thoughts known. And fair play to him, because I said I don't want to be seeing anything like this from him ever again, and I don't think we would. And I think that's what big dogs do. He even came out in an interview after and said he was wrong. And I think the attitude Erling Haaland has is a captain's attitude. And I think going forward, he will be Manchester City's captain. He certainly should be. It was a captain's performance. He put Man United to the sword. He was clinical. Other than that one opportunity, which was a bit crazy, it can happen. But in terms of when you give this guy a chance, he's got the chip in his arsenal. He's got the open his body, bottom corner finish, sewn under. That is the Erling Haaland finish right now. Opens his body on that left, and you know no one's saving it. I was so confident when he went through on goal. And I used to watch Raheem Sterling going clean through when De Bruyne was setting him up. Can you imagine De Bruyne watching this now and he's thinking, all them years and we played this fucking false nine and I didn't have a striker. Imagine his assist numbers, man. They were already good. They'd have been incredible. But look, I can't say enough about Haaland. Not just going forward, his defensive responsibilities that he took upon himself that game. Alex, he was hungry. He was not letting you score. I love that between him and Donnarumma. They got a bit of a bromance going before he even signed, and then, you know, Donnarumma made that massive save. They're going over chest bumping. And you know what? That's what you need from your striker. You lead from the front. And if you need to go back, defending corners, clearing it, then you do that. I couldn't speak more highly of it, but what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I thought it was his best performance for Manchester City. And you're right, he scored 5 goals in the game, 4 goals, 3 goals. He only got 2 and he missed an open net. I thought he was, it felt like to me, what I can imagine in the dressing room and in the tunnel, and we are obviously not a party to this footage, is that he's sat in the dressing room going, follow my lead, we will be all right today. However we get through, we're gonna beat United today, and I'm gonna lead by example because, like you said, I'll come back for corners and I'll head them away. You've got obviously Donnarumma brings leadership as well. You've got Haaland bringing leadership. City need leadership, man. Bernardo ain't a captain.
Spine back.
Yeah, you need the spine back. Diaz ain't a captain, although I thought he was a bit better on Sunday. Haaland's performance, the touch. Can we just put this Haaland's not got a good touch to bed? I don't know where this has come from, to be honest. Again, it's probably that idiot off the overlap.
I think we know where he's come from.
YouTube channel he's got. Haaland is technically good. I know people don't like to hear it. Haaland is a technically good striker. He is the best striker in the world. He is aggressive. He's quick. He's pace. But you know what he does really well is, Christian, you mentioned about the finishing and the going through one-on-one. He gets himself composed really well. And he always, like you said, the chip, mate, he makes it look easy. Anybody that's played football and going through at pace and being pushed over by a centre-back, even though it's Luke Shaw, you're being shoved off balance. You've got to dink that perfectly over the goalkeeper who's rushing. I know Messi's made it look easy over the years.
You've got to get the trajectory just right.
Haaland's got a nice touch, man. It was a brilliant finish, and he's shown it before. It's not the first time, and clearly the second one, he's automatic. The leadership was fantastic from your perspective, and in a season that might be difficult at moments for City this year, I think you're looking over your shoulder at him, Donnarumma in the tunnel. Some of the other players who will come to, some of the younger players might go. He's got that feel to him, Haaland, at the minute, or coming into the season where it's like, we've got this guy, we'll probably be all right. And that's how I feel this season could go for City. And you said it perfectly. He should be the captain. I'm sure he will be in the near future. And it could be a coming-of-age season, which is wild to say, but he's still quite young, Haaland. And I think in a way, City not being firing on all cylinders in every position, you might see a different side to Haaland this season.
Yeah, I think I'm so glad, and you make some great points, Alex, and fair play to you, because you have always been consistent on this with Erling Haaland, and you've never agreed with the bullshit criticism from opposition fans, and neither have I. I'm an honest guy. Look, if I genuinely thought there was flaws in that side of his game, I think it's just so obvious. It's easy to go with that narrative. If you don't watch much football, or you haven't watched much of Erling Haaland, and you just listen to Sky Sports when they go, he's touched the ball 3 times this half, it's so easy to create the narrative. But what them guys are doing is they're not watching the games, and then that gives me evidence they're not watching the games, because if they were, they wouldn't be saying the things they're coming out with. He has not got a bad touch at all.
Do you not think that makes his touch even better? The fact that everyone says about a goalkeeper he could go cold and then he pulls out a world. Donnarumma at the weekend, off and Buemo, had nothing to do. Bosh. Do you not think it's the same for Haaland, where he's had 3 touches, but then that one comes up to him in the sticks and sits, and he gets in? I think that's amazing.
It's facts, Alex. Look, a guy that could be that could utilise such few touches of the football and turn them into goals. How could you say that same guy has the touch of Lukaku? The two things don't add up. It's a great point. I really don't understand, other than that I know these guys just don't watch enough of him. And Erling Haaland, look, when he plays with his back to goal, and he's added this to his game, don't get me wrong, he has brought this along a lot better, but that's playing in England. Playing for Pep Guardiola, he's adjusting to this team. Now, when he plays and he pushes forward, he brings other players into the game so much better than he first did when he came. Yeah. And it's not that he wasn't doing it enough at the time, it's just that we had so much possession, Alex. We didn't really need him to do this. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But now we find ourselves in this situation where this is a part of Erling Haaland's game we need to unlock and we need to utilise more often, because we are going to be faced with the prospect of Donnarumma going long a bit more often. We've seen he's not going to be as confident with Ederson as with his feet. But it's what you've got to do is use what you've got. We've got a big motherfucker up top that can bring very quick wingers, tricky wingers, into the game. You know what I mean? Yeah,
100%. I mean, if you're 2 centre backs, if you're De Ligt, I know United play fucking 3, which we've just done that episode. If anybody wants to see my thoughts on that, but if you're a centre back and you've got Erling Haaland backing into you on the halfway line, you're hoping that City try and play out through Rodri and Reijnders. Yeah. So I'm not saying never do that, because I'm sure there's games where Rodri and Reijnders will be better than they were on Sunday, and obviously Rodri's trying to get up to pace. From your perspective, obviously, you hope that happens. But like you said, mix it up, man. Hit him, because I tell you what, if you hit him in transition, he is. I mean, look, he is absolutely top, and you got the golden ticket. But I said the first game I watched him in the Community Shield, he threw Robertson off the ball fairly, opened his body, missed, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is going to dominate, because he has got the perfect blend of pace and strength and aggression, but doesn't foul people. If you notice, Haaland doesn't commit many fouls. No. For a guy that plays elbows out as him, it leans to his IQ, his football brain.
Oh, you're so right.
And I think he deserves massive credit. And the fact we're having to sit here, and this sounds like we don't really hear this about the guy, is unbelievable, and hopefully the narrative changes for him, because at the end of the day, he is fantastic. And in a league where we haven't got many, in a continent where we've not got many great strikers, why are people drumming him down when he's one of the few that is amazing? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think that the reason it started is obviously Keane made them comments, and Keane's just a strange guy at times. Like, he does come out with some weird things. He's got a bit of a vendetta against Haaland. Yeah, he's got a bit of a vendetta against Haaland's dad or something, so he goes on at his son.
Yeah.
Haaland doesn't even reply to him. I mean, that kind of says it all. Yeah. And then I think a few other people in the football sphere have kind of taken from that and then use it, and it's like a lazy narrative. But look, going away from that, Alex, we know how good Haaland was. Now, Mr. Phil Foden, I said, if you are starting this game, you need to step up. Manchester derbies, you're a City fan, you've got to make your name. And to be fair, we started the game really well, Alex. We were pressing you high. We looked all over you for maybe the first 5-10 minutes. And I was very confident. And I saw Foden in the position I actually wanted him in. We've always known Foden's position. His best position is playing central. He's not a winger. He's not a false nine. He belongs in the centre. And you know what it adds to our game as well, Alex? I noticed with United did obviously have a little bit more of the ball, and you did press us quite well at certain times in the match. Now, when the ball was being spun into him, Foden is so good in them tight spaces and able to wriggle away and get us in transition. Now, that's something we don't have. And that's what we need. I think playing him out wide, it's just wasted. He's stuck with chalk on his boots. And then ultimately he's becoming the one-dimensional. He's got to cut in on his left and try and bang it bottom corner. You know what I mean? That is not Phil Foden. What Phil Foden is, he's amazing in tight spaces. He's great at progressing the ball. He's got a decent eye for a pass, and he's a great shooter. He's brilliant at arriving late in the box. Now, we've got to use this, bro. This is what we've got to do. And we saw that in that game. The arriving late into the box. He smells them opportunities. And that's what we need this season. Because if you look at the team, Alex, we have not got goals in abundance. We have, of course, got Erling Haaland. Like you said, we got the golden ticket in terms of the number 9. But it's not just about getting goals from Erling Haaland. You need goals from elsewhere. If you look at the seasons we've won the league, Alex, we've always had Bernardo chipping in with 10, Gundogan chipping in with 10, De Bruyne at 10. We've always had this, and we've not got it anymore because our wingers don't get that. So therefore, we need to find them elsewhere in either your Shirkies or your Fodens. Shirky is out. Foden, it's your time to step up.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And also, I just think it's connected to what we just spoke about with Haaland and hitting Haaland earlier. Not saying route 1, but I'm just saying a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
He does win most balls hit up to him, Haaland, and he does usually guide them into paths of whoever is near him. And you want to City need partnerships now. Guardiola has to settle this down now. Try and get a partnership of Haaland and Foden. I mean, it's like Crouch and Defoe, just supercharged, isn't it? Little man, big man up top. But obviously I'm joking there. But the point is that I'm making where don't be spending 20 minutes on the right with Bernardo taking too many touches in the middle. Foden, you're playing 10 today. You and Haaland get a relationship. I know they've got one, but it's just been. I mean, obviously you can take it from here, but it feels so stop-start their relationship on the pitch, and obviously injuries and stuff like that. You've got to get 10 games of these two. Get a relationship together.
I'm glad you brought this up, mate, because it's an important thing for City and for Guardiola especially. Look, we know he likes to chop and change. But you've also got to know the personality of the guy you're chopping and changing. And Bernardo, absolutely fine to do that. We've seen that throughout his career. That's why he has been the perfect Pep Guardiola player. Phil Foden is not. You can't one game go and do a job on the right for me. Go and do a job on the left. Today you're 10. We can't play with him like that. Foden is very much a confidence player, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean to get the best out of him. I don't think you can be putting him on the wing, getting a 4 out of 10, and then next week going, right, we've got United at home, we need a 9 out of 10 from you. No, you've got to be more consistent. And also, it doesn't really benefit us in the long run. Like you said, Alex, we need to form partnerships. We have got, I suppose we should just transition into this now. We've got Rodri and we've got Reijnders. Now, Rodri and Reijnders were really poor in that game. Some other fans have been saying they thought they were okay. Mate, I'll be honest, I don't know what they were watching because Rodri, his touch was baggy, the balls he was ballooning out of play, he was misplacing passes, he didn't look confident on the ball. There was even a time where he miscontrolled it and you gained possession deep in our half. He looked sluggish. Now, I am not getting at him in terms of he should be at a higher level. I'm just saying that is currently where he's at. So that's what we've got to deal with. So if this means that Nico Gonzalez has to come in for the time being, because that's not going to be good enough, Alex. And this is no disrespect to United, but if you're going into the European elites, look, we have Napoli tomorrow. You know what I mean? I don't think you can peddle with that situation with Rodri where he's at, and then you've got Reijnders, who looked incredible game day 1 against Wolves, but there is a caveat to that because we know it was Wolves. And then since then, he has not been great, let's be honest. Spurs, he got dominated. Yesterday, he was poor. He was misplacing passes a lot of the time. There was a few loose touches in there. He didn't look that comfortable. United, I kind of sensed they were smelling it a little bit on him. You said it. And I was like, how the fuck is he actually right? But I agreed with you.
Yeah, very, very strange game from City's pair in midfield. And Rodri doesn't look physically right to me. And we've been through this. It dates back to the Club World Cup, really. And I spoke to you about the time frame of his ACL recovery felt off to me. And coming from somebody who's tore it, I'm not a pro athlete, but I remember my milestones. I remember my 6-month milestone, my physio. I remember my 9-month milestone. For him to be back in the Prem within 7 months, I was concerned. And then you had the Club World Cup injury. Then he missed the start of the season. And with Rodri, his body language, his shoulders are slumped early on in games. The transitional moments that United got turnovers in, some of them, I think you mentioned it with the miscontrol. He wasn't even hounded; he was just panicked. And it's when you're blowing, and that's another thing. He's probably not got his gas yet.
Alex, I mean that 100%. You're right on that one, because if you look at later in the game, he was blowing out of his arse. He was on his arse in that match. Now, if you look at the one thing I predicted in this game, I was like, well, with United's midfield, we're guaranteed to overrun it, and it's almost perfect for Rodri because it's like, well. They're not playing in a way that's going to really press me that much because we can have a lot of the ball and we can be quite comfortable. Now, it was just the complete opposite and we were being rushed. And I don't think in terms of... I was honest when I was watching the game. It was not a vintage Manchester City performance. There was some positives, which I'm going to get into. But I feel like we were better at utilising your mistakes and the space you left in behind, and we were clinical. But the overall feel of the game was quite concerning. And going forward, I am a bit worried, and this is why I say, and it's not Rodri's fault, I just think we need to sort this sooner rather than later. And if it means that Rodri has to be bedded in a bit slower, give him 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, maybe a cup game. I don't think you need to be hanging your hat on him at this point because, Alex, he's one of my favourite players in world football. He won a Ballon d'Or, man. I don't want to see this guy's career be ended before he's 30 because we can't be patient enough to bed him in.
Yeah, look, Christian, this is a real tricky situation for City and Pep Guardiola, I feel. And I mean, just looking at the fixtures, obviously you got a win at the weekend against us, and then you've got Napoli, which you said tomorrow evening, very tough game, and then you've got Arsenal away on Sunday.
Yeah,
you've been stung by the fixtures on that, by the way. But side note, Arsenal play Tuesday, you play Thursday, won't they? But anyway,
it is a bit of a grim one.
But yeah, the point is, I think he's going to have to. Look, this is why Guardiola gets paid everything he does, because he's in a position where if he brings Gonzalez in and you lose, he's going to get criticised. If he plays Rodri and Rodri looks slumped again, you're going to lose anyway. So it's like. It's difficult. I think the moments. What I'm trying to say is here. I'm not saying just accept the midfield's going to be shit, because it's unacceptable to be poor in midfield for Manchester City. Yeah. However, I'm just thinking of how you won the game Sunday. I know. Don't get me wrong. We helped you out a little, but you did get the moments you needed to get the goals. Foden being key, and it's like, can we just play to our strengths a little bit with Haaland, Foden? Doku drifting around a little bit, maybe a bit of route one. You're not going to be playing Rodri dropping in and controlling the tempo of games right now. You can't play 90 minutes. To me, like I said, his body language, his shoulders are slumped. I think you're going to
You
have to find moments, Christian,
Yeah,
honestly.
you certainly could. In answer to your question, you certainly could go with that, and you could, you could take, even if you take Rodri out and go with that like counter-attacking way. Look what Ollie did. Ollie got results against Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we see it can work, and obviously with the players we've got, we're much better than the players Manchester United had back then.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting because obviously how much on Sunday was the team on the pitch doing what they thought was right, and Guardiola going, if they have the ball, don't worry, lads, because it's weird to think, but the stats don't lie. City got out-possessioned by this Man United team on Sunday. So it came from somewhere, Christian, be it the 11 on the pitch.
Alex, you can understand why I was concerned, because I'd be very shocked if Pep at half-time was, knowing Pep Guardiola and how long he has managed my club, I would be beyond shocked if I was a fly on the wall in that dressing room at half-time and he said, we're going to let him have more of the ball, the shit anyway, and we're going to hit him on the break. Now, if he did that, fair enough. You saw a gap in the market and you went for it, and ultimately we made them pay. But Alex, I've been a City fan long enough and known this manager long enough to be quite shocked if that was the outcome. And that's why I was concerned, because I think, right, well, if we were trying to compete and get possession off Manchester United and we couldn't get it, and you look at who they're putting out in midfield, then what's that going to look like when we're coming up against Arsenal at the weekend? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, Alex, you've also got the situation. So if we are going with Rodri and our gameplay going forward is to go counter-attacking, then you're going to be asking a lot of Rodri. And I don't think he's at that. I just don't think he'll be able to cope at this point in time. Because when you're playing counter-attacking, you're saying, right, to the opposition, you go for it as much as you want, and we're going to hit you on moments. And of course, we would fucking crucify teams playing counter-attack. And there's been times where I think we should have done this more. But
the next two I'd be playing. I mean, Arsenal, I'd be luring them on. Hey, Christian, Arsenal don't want to be caught too high up the pitch.
Arsenal is the point. Arsenal is the perfect team to
You've got to lure them onto you, Christian.
They struggle against low blocks. They're not great creativity-wise, and they can be caught. So, I mean, they have got an incredible defence, but in terms of City going forward, I think they could catch anyone if you look at the pace we have.
I totally agree. And you just said it there, best defence in Europe, Arsenal. They've conceded one goal all season, which is the Szoboszlai free kick.
Yeah.
But, so what are they amazing at? They're amazing at being a collective, two banks of four, sometimes five, on the edge of their own box. Saliba and Gabriel, fantastic.
So break it, make them come out. Yeah.
I would be, look, I mean, it might happen. It's hard to say. We don't know what Pep is saying. It would be a complete change up from what we've seen. But if I was Pep and Reijnders, I'd be looking at this team going, look, we ain't going to boss Arsenal. They have got a better midfield than us. They've got a better defence than us. However, we've got fucking Erling Haaland. And if you want to try and expose Saliba and Gabriel, I guarantee you, Gabriel and Saliba will be hoping they City, you allow them to come onto you, because Gabriel and Saliba, every yard they get close to that halfway line, they'll be going, Jesus Christ, this big man here can turn us, and we are in a foot race with Haaland. And that's what I would be doing for City. It's no shame. Look, bit of shit transfers, Christian, couple of injuries, a few players getting old. Okay, you got to tweak the way you play. You still got Haaland.
I think it'll be, I do agree with everything you said. I do think it'll be Mosquera, because I think Saliba's injured, isn't he, at the moment?
Sorry, is it Mosquera playing? Playing?
Yeah, I think it'll be Mosquera.
He's been deep. He's been good, actually.
He has been very good. He's had a great start to his career at Arsenal. However, I think what you need to do is bring them into situations. If you're Gabriel, you want Haaland close to you. You don't want, on the halfway line, a sprint race with Erling Haaland, because he ain't winning it. And I don't mean that against Gabriel, and I know fucking Arsenal fans wax lyrical. I'm saying no defender in world football will win that situation. You know what I mean?
You've seen it on Sunday. I mean, look, he's the most impressive athlete in the world as a striker. He's incredible. So, I mean, look, I can't wait to see, because this is all new. Even the game on Sunday, you win 3-0, but to see the way you were like, let them have it for a bit, and whether that's the in-game management by Diaz, Rodri, even Haaland maybe going, look lads, we'll be fine, let's get the win and we move on. What does it look like? Are you away against Napoli, or are you at home, Christian?
Home, mate. Yeah, we're at home tomorrow. Are we doing a watch-along, by the way, Alex?
Yeah, I think I can probably swing it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But any guys on the channel?
Is De Bruyne playing?
De Bruyne, yeah, it's De Bruyne homecoming. It's going to be weird. We're going to be chanting his name. They're going to be chanting his name. You just know he's going to bang as well, don't you?
Oh my God, Haaland.
Haaland, yeah, of course.
And
McTominay. Oh God, you just know De Bruyne cross Haaland header. Oh my God, I'll be fucking well annoyed.
Nah, it'll be McTominay, but yeah,
yeah, that's true.
Brilliant.
No, so yeah, look,
yeah.
Alex, there was quite a few positives as well, and a guy that I'm not a big fan of him, Jeremy Doku, but where credit's due, man. He was really good in that match, and I think he sensed from early whether Pep told him to do that, and he just naturally noticed there was space there, and he could utilise it in terms of when he was running at Shaw in that 10 role. But then he was also effective in the second goal. He gets the quick pass off Foden round the corner, plays in Haaland, perfect weight of ball. Haaland finishes. This is what I've been saying, Alex. You need end product. Now, it's something that Savinho and Doku have not had. Doku, in terms of getting a yard, me and you both said this, bro. We said there's not many better at it, really. But it's what he does after it that's the problem. That's where it all unravels. And if he can get that end part of his game, which, by the way, I'm not one of these that will flip-flop. I don't think there is much of a chance because I think Doku is what he is. I do just think he had a great game. But if we can get something more out of him in them positions and we can get some sort of end product, it could bring us on leaps and bounds. And it gives Erling Haaland something new, a new string to our bow. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I wonder if there's something in that, letting him drift centrally a little bit more, getting him close. He can't whip crosses. I mean, even the one on Sunday, he fucking dobbed it straight and the guy got it straight back. So the Foden goal came from a failed cross. He's just not a clean striker of the ball. He's dangerous, squaring people up. Can you bring him in a bit more of a freer role and just say, look, Jeremy,
what I like about that, Alex, is it would cause chaos. It would cause chaos for us and for the opponent, and it would come out on top. But the thing is, if he's doing that, how much space then is Foden getting? Who is our sharpshooter in terms of outside the box? So look, it's something to maybe look at. It might be something that Pep goes with going forward. Or it might have just been that we can't play Ruben Amorim's shit system every week. It could just be that as well.
Yeah, mate. Look, we fucking play two players in about an 80-yard square. And one of them's fucking
I could
Bruno.
be looking back at this and laughing at myself, saying I've just suggested putting Jeremy Doku at 10. I'm hammering drunk.
It's true, but it's early days. Like, I mean, it's one of them where I think the season to me is clear for City. You're gonna have to just squeeze everything out of Haaland, and the common sense is hit him quicker and get people around him. And if Doku is one of them, obviously Foden should be round him all the time. I think that is a decent play. I mean, it's early, Christian. Obviously, you've got a mega tough game on there. You've got a tough game tomorrow, mate. This is a brutal 3 days for City. I think
the way it could work out as a positive, Alex, in terms of our injury issues at the moment. Obviously, Marmoush is out and Cherki's out. I wouldn't wish injury on anyone, let alone my own players. However, the way we could turn this into a positive is Phil Foden's going to get a run now at the 10. I'm hoping. I really am. I can't see him moving him from there now. I think he's going to give him a run. So if Foden can nail down that position and he can have some good games in that area, then when Cherki comes back, Cherki's going on the right, which I was happy with to start with. I always said that because I was like, I do like when he cuts on his left, he's got a great cross, brilliant left foot, and he's good for a goal as well. So I actually really like that. Suddenly, the team, I'm thinking, right, if Reijnders can get up to speed and we can see more of the Wolves Reijnders that I was very happy with in the first game, and then you've got Foden as a 10 and you've got Cherki out wide, suddenly I'm a lot more positive than I was. You know what I'm saying? And I think we've got to really use this time to get Foden bedded in as that 10. He is our number 10, Alex, for the next, 8 years at this club. You've got to get him with that position nailed down now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, he's got to get a run of games. I mean, you've got a massive 3 days ahead of you as a club here because, look, you know, if there's anything left in a title challenge hope from some fans, you want to get to Arsenal and put in a good. You lost 5-1 there last year.
Yeah, you can't be stinking the gaff out like that again. And not only that, Alex, what you want to do in terms of laying down a bit of a statement as well. You know, we're just going to got Donnarumma, who I've actually forgot to mention. mate, shout out, what a performance. And I think he showed you exactly why he's come to this club. And we couldn't refuse the opportunity to take him. I do feel sorry for Trafford, but it is, I repeat what I said when you posed this question to me, Alex. I said, I don't think we can turn this opportunity down. You've got the chance to go and get the best keeper in world football and put him between the sticks. If you've got a Champions League final tomorrow, or if your international team, if your country has a World Cup final, who are you putting between the sticks? I wouldn't say many people would say anyone other than that guy.
You can't get emotional over these things, ultimately. And look, the way City are going to have to lean on some shot stopping, I think, this season, because as crap as we were Sunday, I mean, and Mbeumo plucked out of
that goes in, Alex.
Exactly, it goes in. It does go in. You're right, Christine. That's as good as a goal. And I've got sympathy for James Trafford, but look, he's a big boy. He's on good money. He's playing for Man City. I think he'll live. And if he has the conversation, I'm sure City will go, look, you know, the way it worked was unfortunate. However, you can go next summer, sort of thing. So, look, massive couple of games, Christian. What is your general thought with the idea of the rotation between these two games? Obviously, there's certain players that are going to have to play 90 in both.
Yeah.
What do you think about the midfield and certainly sort of your Rodri, Nico Gonzalez situation? Even Reijnders, does he play both games? What are you thinking between Napoli and Arsenal on Sunday? Is there a game you go, I play Rodri in that and Nico in that, or?
It is so tough, isn't it? Because currently what I watched against United, I don't think Rodri should be playing in either of them. And I'm not slating. I'm just being honest on where he's at in terms of his recovery. I don't think he should be put in there because we were getting overrun by Man United and look who was in the midfield. So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be comfortable him in the starting lineup in either of those games. If you're going to rotate it, I suppose the sensible thing to do would be to save Rodri for Arsenal, and then you well, we might get that Rodri back that we've seen in the past.
You've not got an
personally,
obvious.
I would go with Nico Gonzalez. I think if you're going to start Rodri, I'd play him tomorrow because I think playing an Italian side with a more, you know, they're not as explosive. They're quite structured in the way they play, and I think that could suit us and suit Rodri more. And then I think you're going to see a lot more pace on Sunday with Arsenal. I think that's where you need some fresher legs and someone maybe up to speed a little bit more, which is where I'd go Nico Gonzalez. Reijnders, bro, I think the guy is possibly going to have to play both, isn't he? If you look at it.
And
we're not exactly... both. Performing both. We're not exactly blessed in terms of that position. So, I feel like that's going to be where that's at. And then you look at the defence. Look, I was glad to see Diaz looked a little bit better. I think Kusanov coming in at right back really helps with that, and that's something I've been banging the drum for a long time. We need that pace. We lost it with Kyle Walker. We've got it back with Kusanov. Yes, he will throw in the odd rash challenge. I'll take that all day, Alex. I like the fact our right back is getting close to his man and he's not letting them run at him. And then they're in the box, conceding stupid penalties, giving away corners. You know what I mean? And this is what we see too much of with either Lewis or with Nunes. And also, with Kusanov playing, bro, it stops that early ball, which absolutely crucifies our back line because our back line's so slow. You know what I mean? So when a player cuts inside and Nunes is 5 yards off his guy because he's just letting him do what he wants, freedom of the pitch, and that ball's in behind Diaz, you know he's not got the recovery pace. Kusanov doesn't allow them that luxury.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think he had a good game, and I thought he was quite good at Brighton. To be fair, I know we got that ridiculous yellow, but I mean, at least he's landing one. And obviously, when he went off, the fucking Stones and Diaz were really at it with that back line against Brighton. I think I think he's a good shout, Kusanov, just to get again another run of games. Look, probably not going to be challenging for the title this year. Let's find something in these next 6 months. 6 weeks for City.
Exactly my point.
You might get a cup run, like you still got to get top 5. Obviously, you want to qualify for Europe, Champions League. You never know. You could get to the quarters with a cup run. If the draw comes your way, City could get to the quarters, and then at least the fans can get a little bit. Oh, you know, have we found something here?
Look at it. I mean, we've seen a lot lesser sides go on and fucking win these tournaments.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Inter in the final with a bit of luck with the draw.
Have Inter been in the last two of the last 3 finals?
I think you're right. And Dortmund were in one, weren't they?
Dortmund in one, yeah, exactly. So look,
the way it can fall,
I think you've hit the nail on the head, Alex. I think this is the time we've got to use. we've got to manage our expectations this season. This is a squad in transition, and it ain't going to come in and go and win a league. But people were being a bit over-optimistic with it.
Yeah.
I was being realistic. I knew there was a lot of change in this squad. We'd let go some marquee players, and you don't just find that overnight, Alex. De Bruyne wasn't De Bruyne overnight. You know what I mean? We had to bed this guy in, and he later became one of the greatest Premier League midfielders we've ever seen. But you don't just go and replace someone like that and go, oh, we signed someone from France, we're sorted. It doesn't work like that. We know how football works, guys. Yeah. So we've got to be patient with them. But if we can use this time frame and we can find a system that works, whether that be Cherky on the right and that Foden's our 10 going forward, and if it is Doku on the wing, at least I know the best team. I'm sick of the swapping and changing, Alex.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to find some continuity. And you've got, look, I don't know what to expect from Arsenal because I just don't know how utterly shit we were on Sunday. And that's the conundrum with City is, yes, we've beat Wolves and United. One is the worst team in the league and one's probably not much better. Certainly setup-wise, we are just a joke. So, look, Arsenal, I know from your perspective, Christian, you're looking for a good showing. Trying to find performances and trying to expose a little bit of their weaknesses. You know they're going to run. Their midfield's very good. And if Eze plays the 10, good God, City are going to have to be compact to combat Rice, Eze and Zubimendi. But can you find something with Haaland up the pitch and drag them onto the halfway line? I think that's the play, Christian. And obviously you got Napoli to take care of in 24 hours. I mean,
Yeah, that's it. Well, weirdly, I actually watched Arsenal's last game against Forest, and Madueke was probably their best player.
Yeah.
Now, Eze did get an assist, but I don't feel like that position suits him on the wing, and I don't think you're going to see the best of him. But then, weirdly, Odegaard goes and gets himself injured, which means Eze is the 10. That injury actually makes them better in that game. Yeah. So it's even worse for City, in a way. But look, bro, it's a big match. But just to finish up on the Man United, obviously, look, derby win. Mate, I was buzzing. Obviously, we saw on the live. Now, we were clinical. And it was a good performance in terms of, we did everything that we needed to do. And whether Pep noticed there was a bit of a flaw in your system and he went out there and exploited it, fair fucking play if you did that, my friend. But going forward, I think there is areas we really need to concentrate on, and I'm hoping to see that in that Arsenal match.
Yeah, I think very well put, Christian. I'm really intrigued as to how City are going to look, not just on Sunday, tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be doing a watch-along.
Tomorrow as well,
Sunday. Weeknight's a little bit more difficult, but I think I should be able to swing it. So hopefully we'll be on here for that. So if you are watching this, please join us for tomorrow night and definitely weekend. We've got Chelsea United and we've got the biggie on Sunday. Are you half four, Christian? I assume you will be. I
think it's half four, mate, yeah.
Decent. I mean, another great weekend of footy, man. And look, I can't wait to see how both of us do. But I wouldn't be surprised.
That's it as well. And just one last message, Alex. A rest in peace to Ricky Hatton. Yeah. I know we said this on the United app as well. What a fucking guy, true blue. I've seen a lot of the tributes to him. They've been beautiful. So yeah, man, I'm glad we got that Derby Day win for you. I know it weren't good for our kid over there, but I know he was smiling watching that.
Yeah, no, I mean, great guy. Met him in town once, lovely bloke. I was speaking to my partner about it. She said she met him in a pub round here. We live in Stockport, and he had shots with my missus about 10 years ago. And
he's just a great guy.
You met him there. It feels like everybody has got a story where I bumped into Ricky and had a bev, and I can't speak highly enough of him. And a quote that sat with me, Christian, I've been watching loads of content on Ricky and some old stuff, and obviously it's quite sad listening to sort of the struggles that we thought he might have conquered, maybe he didn't. And a point somebody made, and Ricky said, I hope that my legacy is that I beat people I couldn't through hard work. And he was right. He was like, I beat people I shouldn't. He's like, I was massive against Costa Zoo. I should not have beat him. However, I wanted it. I put everything into it. And he's like, if everybody did that in their life, in whatever they care about, whatever they want to do, they would get somewhere better than what they're doing now. Yeah. And I just thought it was great to listen to, really, and things to take forward, obviously, in my life and your life. And what a 100%. Guy, man. It's heartbreaking, honestly, and I hope he is at peace now. unfortunately, it's without. He's not here with us all, and a great storyteller, man. I was laughing I was in the car today listening to a Sky Sports segment, and I was listening to him, and he was and the storytelling was fantastic, man. Mayweather trying to overtake him in the private jet and shit.
Oh, mate, that is a belter.
Just fantastic stories, and his delivery, he had a comedic timing. So he'll be very, very severely missed. And I believe he got a very good reception on Sunday. I sort of missed it because we were messing around trying to get on the stream. Yeah. But I think very well put, Christian. And look, hopefully he's at rest now.
That's it, mate. That's it.
So thank you for listening, and hit us up in the comments. What do you think about Manchester City at the moment? Good win. Some good things, some bad things. 2 massive games coming up tomorrow and Sunday. Hit us up. What do you think for these games? What do you think for the starting lineup? What do you think for Rodri? And obviously, what do you think about the great Erling Haaland? Christian, thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed the episode, hit a like, subscribe. We appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thanks, guys.